Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for your time and attendance. I'll be talking about the San Jose lithium tin deposit in Spain and about Plymouth. I pulled 10 slides out of the presentation that you can see on the ASX right now that came up last week. A lot has happened in the last year for the company and this project. But in these 10 minutes, I think in these 10 slides, you'll probably walk away with understanding of what I look for in a project and why I think that San Jose has got what it takes to be a producer of lithium carbonate on site in the short term. You need to have the asset. It's been mentioned before as well, even the last talk. You've got to have people who have done it before and are willing to take it forward again. You've got to have a market which actually wants the product that you're looking to produce. And now increasingly, you must have a situation in which you have a workable framework for permitting and project development. I think the overall thematics of the lithium market have been touched upon by some people already today. They'll continue to be so, and it's something that you can't get away from in the newspaper or the television. Europe consumes a third of the world's lithium right now and has negligible production. Europe is going to continue to consume a large amount, and there is an underlying reason why people will seek security of supply. Therefore, any project which is looking to produce in Europe is going to have some inherent advantages in there. San Jose is located in Spain. It's in the rural part of Western Spain, and I think this slide as well shows, in fact, it's out of date. It's out of date as of this morning. There's been a new project announced in Germany to do truck and bus batteries as well. So again, what I've already put up on the web is out of date, and that shows how fast this market is moving and how fast companies which want to take advantage of this market have to continue to move as well. So our project located in the bottom left-hand corner in regional Spain. Looking at it, this is where it starts getting interesting to me and why I liked this project so much when we became involved. Fundamentally, we're in a joint venture with a very large Spanish company, which I'll expand upon later, but we became involved in this project through the government, the regional government of Extremadura, putting out a public tender. Now, being involved in the mining industry my entire career, there's a difference between knocking on the door of the mines department saying you'd like to start a mine and the mines department having the door open and inviting you in. So in late 2015, the regional government of Extremadura put a tender out seeking people to redevelop the San Jose historic mine site. We've partnered with a $1 billion Spanish company called Sathia. They're an international engineering construction company. They have a small subsidiary which they started in 2014 to capitalise on their leverage into the market for permitting, environmental and social aspects in Spain. That subsidiary, Baleariza Mineria, we are currently in a 50-50 joint venture, and through the work that we are doing, we'll be progressing to 75% to 25%, contributing both parties' joint venture at the end of next year when we complete a feasibility study. I think it's important that in the region of Extremadura, our partners have just re-permitted an underground operation there in Agua Blanca, formerly an open pit. They've taken that forward, and that 85% of all the mines in Spain are in 3 of the 19 regions. Look, let's be honest, it's where you have less competing land use. Regional Western Spain is part of that. Portugal to the left has some strong lithium project development opportunities as well, and we're in a part of the country where this geology crosses over. Who are our partners? I mentioned before Sathia, a major international construction company, market capitalisation of over $1 billion. So for a group which widened the Panama Canal a couple of years ago, you've got to ask yourself, what are they trying to do setting up a subsidiary in Spain in the mining industry? It's because they've realised that they have leverageable skills to bring into it. What did we seek in the partnership with them to win this tender? Experience in project development in Europe, as well as in other parts of the world. So I mentioned before, what do you look for? Well, there's the people, and if you wish, I think Google's a great place. Type in from our chairman down to our non-executive directors. Great experience in Europe in project development, as well as other parts of the world. Capital raising, permitting, offtake, all the things necessary in this stage. Shandong Rufu, a lithium producer in China. In fact, they started making lithium carbonate in 2009. We don't have an equity investment or an offtake with Shandong. What we have is a desire to work with them, understanding the best way for us to make the best feasibility study for project development on this project. I explained before, I think we've got great people and great partners. We've got a great market to supply into. We've got a supportive government. What we're doing here is minimising risk by working with people who design, build and operate lithium carbonate process facilities. A bit about the project. I've talked all about the reasons why we're involved in this project. This is the simplest part. Really, as a geologist for my career, I find this probably the least exciting. It's located under the blue ovoid on the left-hand side. A to B is a cross-section I'll show you in a second. The open pit, the foreground's not ours. We're inside the yellow tenement area. This has a mining licence application over the top of it right now. Key takeaway here is that gas pipeline, which was put in 2007. Why is that key? Well, in 1987 to 1991, this project had a feasibility study done on it to produce lithium carbonate on site. One of the key reasons it didn't go ahead, access to some of the infrastructure which has been put in subsequently. We get the benefits of this. This cross-section in the deposit shows why it's not the most exciting geologically. It's going to be a low strip ratio, simple open pit. It's as big as you want it to be. It's constrained only by the drilling and the desire for us to spend our money on the feasibility study rather than proving it's bigger. We released scoping study numbers last month. We produced and confirmed battery-grade lithium carbonate production using our flow sheet last month and moved into ownership. I put this slide up here because I think it's interesting that you can have orders of magnitude difference in contained grade between a brine and a spodumene, but you don't have orders of magnitude difference in the cost. Why? Because the projects which work all have some advantage and benefit which brings them closer together in the long run. A micro on site which goes full to lithium carbonate mitigates the transport route which may otherwise make it uncompetitive, and it needs to have access to infrastructure. That is exactly what San Jose has. So where do we sit? What's the scoping study say? Well, it says at long-term prices we've got a robust project. Without taking into account the tin or the potential boron assets and credits, we've got a good part of the cost curve. What does it mean? Well, simple sums. EBITDA to pay back debt. Again, as I said, at long-term prices, a compelling project which returns on investment. What are we going to do about it? Well, in 2018, we're going to finish a feasibility study. That is going to backdoor into the completion of the permitting, offtake discussions and financing, and we can be in construction in 2020. The bottom part there is a precipitation circuit from Shandong Rufu's plant in China, which I visited just in August before we announced the deal. The top part just shows a rather simple project, open pit. That's exactly what we have. So I leave you with a photograph looking over the deposit area in regional Spain. And at the bottom part of the picture, one thing is some old, disused mine buildings from the 1960s tin mining. So if I want to start a mine in the Western world, I want a government who wants me to be there, and I want a place which has already been disturbed. That's why I like San Jose so much. Thank you very much.